Rahim. Assalamu alaikum student. Today I will solve the O-level paper 1 October-November 2022 variant 1. Let's start the paper. Question 1 part A. The temperature was -2 centigrade. The temperature decreases by 8 centigrade. Find the temperature after this change. Now you see here the initial temperature was -2 centigrade. Now this temperature decreases 8 centigrade. It means we take the value -8 centigrade. Now the final temperature become -10 centigrade after this change. Now this is the answer. Part B, on another date, the temperature increases -5 to 3 centigrade, find increase in temperature. You see here, this is the initial temperature. We write as Ti, and this is the final temperature, Tf. Now the change in temperature can be written as Tf minus Ti. Now we write Tf is 3, minus is written as it is, and -5 is the initial temperature. Therefore, we calculated that value become 3 plus 5. 3 plus 5, the value is equal to 8 centigrade, and this is the answer. Now we move to the second question. Find 45% of 1.2. Now you know that 45% means 45 over 100, and of means multiply, and 1.2 is written as it is. Now you can simplify it. Suppose we divide by 5, we get 5 9s are 45, and 5 2s are 20, 2 1s are 2, 2 zeros are 0. Now you can write it. 2 6 are 12, and 0 as it is. Now you can write it. 9 multiply 0.6 over 10, and 9 over 10 means 0.9, multiply 0.6. Now you can write it 0.54. The question number 3, write these fraction in order of size starting with the smallest. Now you see here these fraction having not same denominator. Therefore, we make the denominator same by taking the LCM. Now we take the LCM. Firstly, you see here, I take the LCM 30, 15, 5, and 12. Now we divide it by 5, you get 6, 3, 1, and 12. Now you can divide it by 3, you get 2, 1, 1, and 4. 3 4s are 12. Now you can divide by 2, you get 1, 1, and 1, and 2. Therefore, the LCM is 5 times 3, 15. 15 times 2 is 30. 13 times 2 is 60. The LCM is 60. Therefore, the denominator of this fraction 60, you multiply it by 5. 12 5s are 60. You multiply the numerator also by 5. And same here is, so you make this fraction 60. 5 times 12 is 60. You may multiply both denominator and numerator by 12. Same here is multiplied by 2. And same here, to make the denominator 60, you multiply the 15 by 4, and numerator is also by 4. Therefore, you see here, these values are 55 over 60, and 12 4s are 48 over 60, and 27 2 time is 54 over 60, and last is 52 over 60. Now you see here the denominator of all these fraction become same. Now we see that the numerator, you see here, this the numerator of the second fraction is the smallest. This is the first value. We write here 4 over 5. And second fraction is, you see here, next is the 52 over 60. That is the last value. Now this is the second value right here, 13 over 15. And third is 27/30. You see here, this is the third fraction. And the last fraction will be 11/12. And next, we move to the next part of next question. Question number 4, the diagram shows the position of two shapes A and B. On the diagram, 1 centimeter represents 30 meter. Find by measuring the actual distance of B from A. Now we can measure the distance between A and B by using scale. When you measure the distance between A and B, that value, it would be 5.6 centimeter almost. Now you can measure this value, but we have to actual distance. This is the plan length. Now to calculate the actual length, therefore we multiply it 5.6 to multiply by 330, you get 3 6 are 18 and 3 5s are 15. Now the value is 168.0. Now this is the actual length it would be. Now we write it here, 168 meter. Next is now the measuring the bearing of B from A. This is the angle from the north at A to B, and this is the angle from the north at A to B. Now in clockwise direction, this angle will be the bearing of B from A. Now we calculated this angle by using the protractor. Now you can calculate it, measure it. You can measure it, this angle. You see here, this is the angle 124 degree, 120 and 124 degree. Therefore, I write this angle 124. Now we write the answer is 124 degree. Next is the part C. If third shape is positioned at C, C on the bearing of 124 degree from A on a bearing of 252 degree from B. Find the label the position of C on the diagram. Now to find the position of C, firstly we mark the point C on the bearing of 164 degree from A. Therefore, we take the angle from the north at A to 164 degree in clockwise direction. Now you can mark the angle by using this. Now you can see here the position of 164 will be, that is 140, 150, 160, and that position will be 164, and this is the 164 position. This is the point. Okay. Now next is the, you see here the bearing of 252 degree from B. Firstly, we join this point to A. Now we join the line from A to that point of 164 degree. And this is the line. And this is the 164 degree. Now you see here the bearing of B, bearing of 252 degree from B. Now to take the bearing of 252 degree from B, you see here you cannot draw 252 degree from the protractor. Now therefore we take the value C60 minus 252 degree, that's equal to 108 degree. Firstly we take the angle 108 degree from the north at B. Now you see here, now we take the angle 108 degree. This is the position. And now you see here the angle is 108, that is 100, 105, 6, 7, 8. This is the position of 108. And you mark this point 108. Now you can draw a line. Now this line, and this is the line, and both these lines intersect at this position. See, this position is C. Now the angle from the north at B to C, it would be, that angle would be 252 degree. This is the bearing of C from B. Question number 5. Write 306.248 correct to 2 decimal places. Now we write the number 306.248. Now correct to 2 decimal places. You see here, this is the 2 decimal places position. Now you see here the neighboring digit. This neighboring digit is more than 5. Therefore, that value become 306.25. Next is the correct to 2SF value. Now 306.248. Now 2SF value, you see here, this is the first SF, and second, the position is the 2SF figure value. Now you see the neighboring digits. The neighboring digits is more than 5. Therefore, that value become 31, and you put the 0 as a placeholder. That is the 310 is the answer. Next is the part B. By writing each number correct to one significant figure, estimate the value of this. Now you see here 9.37 square. Now one SF value, that value it would be, now you can write it as this is the position of one SF value. The neighboring digits is less than 5, therefore that is equal to 9.0. And same here, next is the 1046 cube root. You see here, this is the one SF value, it would be 1, and the neighboring digits is less than 5. Now you write it other digits as a placeholder, 0, 0, and 0. Now you take the cube root, and that is 9 square. Now you can write it as 9 square minus, now you write only 9 square here. Now 9 square minus, and that value become 1000 cube root, and that is equal to 81 minus cube root of 1000 is 10, you know, that's value is 71 is the answer. Now the question 6, write 4 multiply 4 multiply 4 multiply 4 as a power of 4. You can write it as a 4 power 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can write it as 4 power 5. And same here, question part B, simplify 5 power 5 square root power 2. Now you can write it as square root of 5 square, and you can write it as a 5 square root into 5 square root. That value is 25 square root. That is equal to 5. And next is the simplify 2x cube power 4. We can write it as 2 power 4, and x is 3 multiplied by 4. The power will be multiplied in the brackets. Now you can write it 2 power 4 is 16, and that is x power 12. Now next is the next question. Now we go to the next question. This is the answer. Now the question 7, part A, work out 7 over 8 minus 3 over 4. Now you see here the denominator are not same. Firstly, we make the denominator same. 3 over 4 can be, now to make the denominator same, we multiply by 2 this fraction. And you see here the value becomes 7 over 8 minus 6 over 8. Now that when the denominator is same, we take the difference between numerator, that is 1 over 8. And this is the answer. Now next is the part B, 1 over 3 over 5 divided by 4 over 7. Now we can write it as 1 3 over 5. You can write it into improper fraction, 5 times 1 plus 3, 8 over 5. And now here is the division sign. You can convert into multiply by, reverse the fraction. You can reverse it. That is 7 over 4. Now 4 times 2 is 8. Therefore 2 times 7 is 14 over 5. Now you can write it 14. 5 times 2 is 10, and 4. Now you can write it as 2, 4 over 5 is the answer. Now to move the next question. Now next question is that 3a square plus 12a, factorize 3a square plus 12a. The first rule to factorize the expression, you have to take the common. Now you see here the common is 3a. Now that value become a plus 4. Now this is the answer. Okay, now we go to the next question. Now you see here the next is question number 9. In the Venn diagram, the region A intersection B. Now to A intersection B, you have to take the common region. This is the common region. Now I shade it. This is the common region. You can shade it. Next is the part B. The Venn diagram shows information about the number of students who study English, Spanish, and German. Find the number of students who study English and German but not Spanish. Now the number of students who study English and German but not Spanish. You see here these students 5. These are the students who study English and German but not Spanish. Therefore, the 5 is the answer. Now, the next part of this question, find N G union S dash. And you have to take the number of students other than German and Spanish. Now, you see here the region will be this 11 and 4. Now, you have to write these 11 student plus 4 student, that's equal to 15 student is the answer, because you have to take the region other than J union S. Now J union S other than these two region values 11 and 4. Now we take both values and the answer is 15. Now the next question 10 part A, write the number in standard form. Now you see here in the standard form, you have to write the number, the product of two number. One is the number is greater than equal to 1 and less than 10. And the other number you have to take 10 power of. And now you see here, you can write it as this number 3.2. The first number you can see 3.2. And the second value in the power of 10, it would be, you see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now the 10 power 8, that is the answer, 3.2 multiplied 10 power 8. Next is the evaluate 2 multiplied 10 power minus 3 over 4 multiplied 10 power 9. Now you can simplify it by 2 over 4, that is multiply 10 power minus 3 over 10 power 9, that is 1 over 2 is 0.5, and that value is 10 power minus 3 minus 9, the 10 power minus 12. Now 0.5, you have to make this number more than 1. Now we shift the decimal from left to right side, that we write this number 5.0 into 10 power minus 1 into 10 power minus 12. That value, it would become 5 multiplied 10 power minus 13 is the answer. Next is the right part A, 120 as a product of prime factor. Now you take the prime factor here. Now we write it 120. Now 2 times is 6, 12, and 0 as it is. 2 times is 3, 0. Now 2 times 15 is 30, and 3 times 5 is 15. Now you can write it as 2 into 2 into 2 into 3, that's equal to 120. And you can also write as a 2 power 3 into 3 into 5, into 5, and you can write it as. Now the next part of this question. Now the part B, In the part B, 315 is equal to 3 power 2 into 5 into 7. Use this information, find the smallest integer of value of n such that 215n is a square number. Now we can write it as 315n, that is 3 square multiplied by 5 multiplied by 7. Now which number you multiply this number to make a square? You see here 3 square is already in square form, but 5 power 1 it is not in square form. Now if you multiply it by 5 power 1 into 5, the 5 becomes square, and 7 is also not in the square form. You also multiply it by 7, therefore that value become also in square form. Therefore the value become 5 and 3 square, 3 into 5 into 7 in the square form, and this value will be the n, and you can write it 5 7s are 15, and 15 is the answer. Next is now to question 12. Expand and simplify part A. 3 into a 2x plus 1 minus 2 into 4x plus 3. Now firstly we multiply 3 into 2, that value become 3 into 6x, and now next you multiply 3 into 1, you get plus 3, and same here is minus 2 times 4 is minus 8x. Now minus plus minus, 2 times 3 is 6. Now 6x plus 8x, 6x minus 8x plus minus 6 plus 3. Therefore the answer is minus 2x minus 3, and this is the answer. Now next is the part B. You see here in the part B, x plus 5 into x minus 3. You multiply x into x, that is x square. Now x into minus 3, that value become minus 3x. Now 5 into x plus 5x, and 5 times 3 is minus 15. Therefore you can write it x square plus 2x minus 15 is the answer. Now the next question, question number 13. The nth term of sequence is 3n square minus 1. Find the first 3 term of the sequence. It's very simple. You substitute the value n equal to 1. Now you see here 3 times 1 square will become 1 square minus 1. That value becomes 3 minus 1, that is equal to 2. Now next you take the value 2. Now put the value 2 here in this equation, in this expression. 3 into 2 square minus 1, that's value become 3 into 4, that is 12 minus 1, and that is equal to 11. And same here is the n equal to 3. Now we see that now 3 square will be equal to minus 1, equal to 3 square into 3 is 27, 27 minus 1, that's equal to 26. Therefore, the answer is 2, 11, and 26 is the answer. Question 13, part B, 1, 3, 9, 27, and 81. Find expression of in terms of n for the nth term of the sequence. You see here, these are the multiple of 3. Now you can write it in the multiple of 3. This is 3 power 0, 3 power 1, 3 power 2, and 3 power 3, and 3 power 4. If this is the nth value is this first term, this is second, and these are the third and fourth and fifth term. You see here, you can write it as also in terms of n. You see here, you can write 1 minus 1. That can be written as 3 power 2 minus 1, and same as this can be written as 3 into 3 minus 1, and this same as 3 into 4 minus 1, and that is 3 into 5 minus 1. Therefore, when you take the nth value, that becomes 3 power n minus 1. Question 14. B, C, D are points on circumference of circle. AB is tangent to the circle at B. PD is diameter. OC is a straight line. CDB equal to x degree. Find an expression in terms of x for each of the following. Write each expression in its simplest form. part A, COB. Now, firstly, to find the angle, we apply some rule here. After applying this rule, it will be very easy to find the angle. Firstly, you should apply this rule. Firstly, you have to mark the radius. You see here, OD and OC is the radius. Now I mark it here. And next is the OC and OB is also radius. Now we mark it. Next is the, you see here, you have to see that angle by at circumference by diameter is 90 degree. Now you see here, this is the diameter DOB. This line is diameter. This chord is passing through center, that is called diameter. The angle make at circumference, it would be 90. Now we mark this angle as 90. Next is you have to see that the angle between tangent and radius is 90. You see here, this line is a tangent line. Now AB is the tangent line. Therefore, the angle between tangent and radius is 90. We mark this angle is 90. Next is we have to mark an angle at center is 2 times at angle at circumference. You see here the chord CB. We see that this is the chord CB. This chord CB make the angle at O is, see here, this is the angle making by this chord is this angle, and this angle COB. And you see here, this chord CB also make an angle at circumference. This you can see here, this the angle making at circumference is x degree. And therefore, then use this property, the angle at center is 2 times at angle at circumference. The circumference angle is 2CDB. And you see here, this is the chord CB, the angle at center, and this is the chord CB at angle at circumference. You can see first and last letter which chord is using to make the angle. Now you see here, CDB is x degree. You mark it at x degree. Therefore, we can write it. This is the x degree angle. Now we see that the angle we have to find. This is the COB. COB, you see here, COB angle. You can see here, this 2x degree is the angle. Next is the OAB. You see here, you have to find OAB. Now to find angle OAB, we take the triangle OAB. You see here, these are the angles 2x degree, and at angle B is 90 degree, and the angle COAB will be equal to 180 because the sum of interior angle are 180 degree. Therefore, we can write it as angle OAB will be equal to 180 minus 90 is 90 minus 2x. Therefore, we can write it angle, this is 90 minus 2x. Now part B is AOB angle. We see here that is 90 minus 2x is the angle. Next is the angle CBO. You can see here, this is the triangle CBO. This is isosceles triangle. Therefore, the angle at B, and this CB is the base side, the angle at B and angle at C will be equal. And suppose we name it as B and B, now the sum of interior angle of triangle will be equal to 180. Now we can write it B plus 2x equal to 180. Now we can write it as 2b equal to 180 minus 2x, and b will be equal to 90 minus x. We divide this expression by 2, we get 90 minus x. Therefore, the angle at CBO is equal to 90 minus x. We write this angle here, 90 minus x, and this is the answer. Question 15. Triangle ABC is mathematically similar to triangle DEC. AB equal to 10, BC equal to 27, CD equal to 7, and D equal to 3 centimeter. Calculate AC. You see here the triangle ABC is similar to triangle DEC. When two triangles are similar, then the corresponding side ratio of these triangle will be equal. Now we write the corresponding side of these two triangles, AB over DE. You see here, this is AB, you take AB. And the second corresponding side of second triangle will be DE. Next is BC. The corresponding side will be EC. Now we write BC over AC. And last is AC over DC. AC over DC will be equal. Now we write the values of the sides. You see here AB. You see here AB is equal to 12 centimeter. DE. You see here DE length will be 3 centimeter. And BC length. BC is 27. And EC length. EC is not given. AC length. You see here AC as it is. And DC, you see here DC length is 7 centimeter. Now 12 over 3 become 4. Now AC over 7 can be written as equal to 4. Therefore, AC will be equal to 4 multiplied by 7. That is equal to 28. The next is, given that area of triangle ABC is 160 centimeter, calculate the area of triangle DEC. Now, the two triangle ABC and DEC are similar. Therefore, the area of triangle ABC over area of triangle DEC will be equal to square of the corresponding length of these two triangles. Now, corresponding length, you see L1 over L2 square. Now we substitute the value. Area of triangle here is 160. Our area of triangle DEC, we name it as A2. Now the length ABC, you take the corresponding length, you see here, that is 12 over 3. AB over DE, you write AB over DE whole square. Now you can write it as 12 over 3 whole square, and that's equal to 4 whole square, 160 over A2, and that can be written as A2 will be equal to 160 over 4 square. 4 square is 16. The value from right to left, it will be divided. It will divide the 160. Now you get the answer is 10. A2 will be equal to 10 centimeter square is the area of the triangle DEC. Question 16, find the gradient of the line L. To find the gradient of this line, we take any two points in this line. This is the line L. We see that we take 2 points. This point, and the coordinates of this point is 0, 1. And next point we take this, suppose that you take this point, and that is the coordinate is 2, coordinates 2, 5. Now to find the gradient of the line, that's value will be equal to y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. It's very simple. Now you name it as x1, y1, and this is coordinate x2, y2. Therefore, you take y2 is 5 minus 1 over 2 minus 0. Now you can write it 4 over 2, that's equal to 2, and this is the answer. Next is the shaded region on the diagram is defined by 3 inequalities. Write down these 3 inequalities. Now in the part B, we have to find the 3 inequalities. Firstly, we see that this line, this is the line equation of the line y equal to 5. Now, the inequality region, shaded region is in downward direction. Therefore, the inequality will be y is less than equal to 5. Next, you see the equation. You see here this equation. This is the line parallel to y-axis and perpendicular to x-axis. It cuts on the x equal to 1. Therefore, the region on the right side of this line, therefore, the inequality will be x greater than equal to 1. Now, the third inequality, you see here, this is the line. Now, the equation of the line will be equal to y is equal to mx plus c. Now you see here m, you already found the gradient of this line. This is the gradient is, you see here, this is 2 gradient. Now therefore we write it as 2x and c is the y-intercept is 1. Now we write is 1. Now this line, the region is shaded region is above the line, therefore that y will be greater than equal to, and we write it y is greater than equal to 2x plus 1. Now these three inequalities we write here, x is greater than equal to 1, y less than equal to 5, and y is greater than equal to 2x plus 1. And this is the answer. Question 17, the diagram shows the speed time graph of Sam's journey from home to work. Calculate acceleration for first 2 minutes of Sam's journey. Now to find the acceleration, firstly we convert the 2 minutes into second because the speed time graph, the time is given in second. Now we convert it to multiply by 60, that's equal to 120 seconds. Now the acceleration will be equal to the gradient of this graph in the interval 120 second, gradient of the speed time graph, the acceleration of the gradient of speed time graph. This is the graph. This is shows the straight line. Now to gradient of this line, we can use the formula vertical distance over horizontal distance. Vertical distance, you see here, this is the vertical distance. And the vertical distance is 20. We write it as here is 20 our horizontal distance, you see here, is 120. Now you can write it as 0 will be cancelled, 2 over 12, and that's equal to 1 over 6. Now you can write it 1 over 6 meter per second square is the acceleration. Calculate Sam average speed in meter per second for the whole journey. Now the average speed formula is that average speed will be equal to total distance divided by total time. Firstly, we find the total distance. The distance from, we can calculate the distance from the speed time graph by taking the area under the speed time graph. Now you see here the area under this graph, this is the trapezium shape. The area of this graph will be equal to, now this is the shape is trapezium, the area of trapezium equal to 1 over 2, sum of parallel side. Now the first side is 600, this side length is 600 plus this length is 120 to 480. Now 480 minus 120, you see here the distance will be equal to 4 minus 360, 600 plus 360. Now the into height is the distance between these two parallel sides, these two parallel sides. This distance you see here, this is 20 unit. The total time, you see here the time is 600, you can write it. Now we simplify, 2 times 10 is 20. Now 0 will be cancelled. you can write it 600 plus 360, that's value equal to 960 over 60, and 0 will be cancelled. Now that is 6 times 1 is 6, and 6 and the 3 is the remainder, that is 36. 6 is the 36. You can write it as 16 meter per second is the average speed. Now move to the next question. In B is directly proportional to square of A when A equal to 3, B equal to 18. Find B when A equal to 5. You see here B is directly proportional to square of A. We write it as B is directly proportional to A square. Now we can write it as inequality form. We convert B proportionally to E square, that equal to B equal to KA square. Now the B is here is 18, and K we write it as A is 3 whole square. Now 18 equal to 3 square is 9, 9K. Now K will be equal to 18 over 9 is 2. This is 2. Now we can write the formula B equal to 2A square. Now find the B when A equal to 5, we substitute the value. Here is 5 square. You get 2 into 25, that's equal to 50. Now B will be equal to 50 is the answer. Question 19, ABD is an equilateral triangle. C lies on DB, AC is perpendicular to DB. Show that ADC is congruent to ABC. Now give a reason for each statement. To prove that two triangles are congruent, we use the rule SSS or SAS. We see that here. Now the triangle ABD ADC is congruent to ABC. Now we see that the length AD will be equal to AB. You see here this length AD equal to AB because the triangle is equilateral. Reason you know, because equilateral triangle. Next is you see here AC length is equal to AC. This is the common length between two triangles. This is common. Next is the ACD angle is equal to ACB. It is given that AC is perpendicular to DB, and given the angle ACB is 90, then the other angle on ACD will also be 90, the angle on straight line. Sum of adjacent angle on straight line ACD will be equal to plus 90 equal to 180. Therefore, ACD will be equal to 90. And you see here, two sides in one triangle are equal. Therefore, you can write ABC triangle, ADC triangle is congruent to triangle ABC. You write the property SAS property. Now the next part of this question. Question 20, a farmer records the mass of each of his sheep. Some of the results are summarized in table and illustrated in histogram. Mass M0 to 5 kg, 5 to 15 kg. Next mass is 15 to 20, and next is 20 to 30, and next is the 30 to 50. And frequency is also given here. You see here, this is the frequency density and the graph between frequency density and mass. Use the histogram to find the value of A. Now to find the frequency, in the frequency density graph, in the histogram, when the frequency density between frequency density and mass, you can calculate the frequency by taking the area of this block. You can take the area of this block 15 to 20. This is 15 to 20. Now you take the area. This length is 5 centimeter, 5 unit, and this length, the vertical length is 6. We can write it as 5 multiply 6 is the area of this block. This is the 30, and 30 will be the frequency. Next is the complete the histogram. To complete the histogram, firstly we find the frequency density of against these interval. Now we find frequency density. Now the frequency density formula is that frequency divided by class width. You have to draw the block from 20 to 30 and 30 to 50. The distance, the class width between 20 to 30 is 10. Next is the 50 to 30 is 20. Now we 40 divided by frequency is 40 divided by 10, we get 4. And next is the 20 divided by 20. The answer is 1 unit. Now we draw it here. Firstly 20 to 30. Now the 20 to 30, the 4 you have to take the frequency density 4. This is the histogram from 20 to 30. Next is the 30 to 50. You see here, this is the range 30 to 50. Now this value is 1. Now we mark this and we draw the line and we get the block. This is the question 21. A equal to 3 minus 4, 1, 2, and a plus 2b equal to 1, 10, and 5, 12. Find the b. Now you see here a plus 2b is equal to 1, 10, 5, 12. Now a is 3 minus 4, 1, 2, plus 2 of b equal to 1, 10, 5, 12. Now we shift the matrices from left to right side. Therefore, we get 2b will be equal to 1, 10, 5, 12 minus 3 minus 4, 1, 2, and the value will be 2b will be equal to 1 minus 3. 1 minus 3 is minus 2. 5 minus 1 is 4. 10 minus 4. 10 minus 4. And next is 12 minus 2. 12 minus 2 is 10. And 10 minus 4 is equal to 14. We write it in 14. And b will be equal to 1 over 2 into minus 2, 14, 4, 10. And that becomes, when you multiply each member of the matrices, minus 1, 2 multiply 1 over 2. That's equal to minus 1. 1 over 2 multiply 4. You get 4. You write it as also minus 1 over 2 multiply 1 over 2. 4 multiply 1 over 2. And next is the 14 multiply 1 over 2. And same here is 10 multiply 1 over 2. Now the answer is minus 2 over 2 is minus 1. 4 over 2 is 2. 14 over 2 is 7. 10 over 2 is 5. This is the answer. Now find A inverse. The formula of A inverse is equal to 1 over determinant of A into adjoint matrix of A. Now you see here determinant value of A, determinant of A will be equal to, you see here this is the A. Now you will multiply, cross multiply. you can take 3 minus 4, 1, 2. The value will be equal to 3 times 2 is 6. Minus is a 1 minus 4. The answer is 6 plus 4, that is equal to 10. Now the adjoint matrix, in the adjoint A, you interchange the value diagonally. Now that value becomes 2, 3, and the sign of other diagonal, change the sign of other diagonal. The sign 1 is positive 1, now that become minus 1. This is minus 4, it become plus 4. Now we substitute the value in this inverse, we get 1 over 10 into adjoint matrix 2 over 4 minus 1 over 3. And this is the answer. Question 22, part A, x square minus 6x minus 7 equal to x plus a whole square plus b. Find the value of a and b. Now we convert this expression into this form. You see here x square minus 6x minus 7. Now to make the perfect square, this expression x square minus 6x, we add plus 3 square in this expression. Now you see here, you will take the value plus 3 by the coefficient of x is 6, you divide it by 2, you get 3. Now add 3 square in this expression. To make balance, you subtract also this value, 3 minus 3 square, and minus 7 is written as it is. Therefore, this is the completing square expression. Now you can write it x minus 3 whole square. This is a square minus 2ab plus b square. Now you can write it minus 3 square is minus 9 and minus 7. That value become x plus minus 3 whole square. We can write it as plus minus 16. Now you can write it this as. Now when you compare this, now you see here a will be equal to minus 3 and this is the b value. Now you can write it minus 16. And this is the answer. Question 22 part B, solve the equation x square minus 6x minus 7 equal to 0. You see here x square minus 6x minus 7 can be written as x minus 3 whole square minus 16. You see here, we already proved in the above. Now we can write this equation as x square minus 3 whole square minus 16 will be equal to 0. We can write it as x minus 3 whole square equal to 16. Now we take the square root on both sides. We get x minus 3 equal to 16 square root will be plus minus. We write it 4 plus minus 4 x minus 3. Now we can write it as x equal to 3 plus 4 or x equal to 3 minus 4. That value is equal to 7 and this value equal to minus 1. We write it as 7 minus 1. Question 23. A solid cone has radius y centimeter. The slant height of cone is 25% larger than the radius of the cone. A solid sphere has radius r centimeter. Surface area of sphere is equal to surface area of cone. Show that y equal to 4r over 3. Now condition is given here. Surface area of sphere. Surface area of sphere is equal to total surface area of cone. You see here, surface area of sphere is 4 pi r square. Now the total surface area of cone will be equal to curved surface area of cone, curved surface area of cone plus base of cone, because this is the solid cone. Now the surface area of cone is pi RL plus pi R square. Now we put the value here. We take pi as a common. We get RL plus R square. Now 4 pi, the sphere radius you see here, capital R, we can write it 4 pi R square. Pi will be cancelled. Now we can write it as 4R square equal to the radius of cone. You see here, this is the radius of cone is y centimeter. Now we write is y. And the slant length, this is the slant length of cone. The slant length of cone L is 25% larger than radius. Now the length is y plus 25% of y. The radius of cone is y. We can write it as y plus 2500 into y, that's equal to 100 y plus 25 y over 100, that's equal to 125 over 100 y. Now we write it as 125 over 100 into y plus radius is, we write it, radius of cone is y square. Now we simplify it. That is equal to, that value become 25 5s are and 25 4s are is 100. Now that is equal to 5y square plus y square, 5 of 4y square plus y square equal to 4r square. 4r square will be equal to 5y square plus y square over 4. Now we take the LCM. You see here that value become 5y square plus 4y square, that is equal to 9y square over 4. 4r square equal to 9 over 4 y square. Now y square will be equal to 16 over 9r square. Now we write it here. The y square will be equal to 16 over 9r square. Then the y will be equal to, we take the square root, 4 over 3 r. Now this is the proof of y equal to 4r over 3. Now in the part B, find the volume of cone in terms of r. Give your answer as possible. The volume of cone is equal to 1 over 3 pi r square into h. Now here is the radius, is the cone is y. Now we write it y square into h. Now we have to find y. We draw a cone here. This is the cone. Now in this cone, this is the radius y. And this slant height, you know, 125 100 over 100 y. We already find this 125 over 100 y is the slant length of the cone. We mention this length 125 over 100 y, that is equal to 5 over 4 y. Now we write is 5 over 4 y. Now we have to find this height. Now the height will be equal to, this height will be equal to, we use the Pythagoras theorem, that is slant length, this length is slant length, this is the radius, and the L square will be equal to r square plus h square. Now therefore heights will be equal to L square minus r square, that is equal to 5 over 4 y whole square minus y square. Therefore, we can find this value 25 over 16 y square minus y square. Now we take the LCM, that is 25y square minus 16y square, that is equal to 9 over 16y square and then h will be equal to 3 over 4y. Now we write it as 1 over 3 pi into y square into 3 over 4y. Then 3 will be cancelled. Now you can write it as pi y cube. You know you have to find the volume in terms of r. Therefore, r is 4 over y is equal to 4 over 3r. We write it as pi into 4 over 3 r whole cube. Now you can write it as 4 cube is 64. Our 27 pi r cube is the answer.